Hey guys, welcome to this episode. After several desperate attempts to get you in front of GP Mendie to talk cannabis in Florida, the standard stuff and the new stuff, we are on. And I have him with you from FAMU, Mary, the guru that helps break us off on how to do these things right and keep yourself out of trouble, and also the health benefits and challenges. GP Mendie, good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you, my brother.
We're going to talk cannabis. And cannabis in Florida, there's a lot of new stuff coming down the pike. People are starting these dispensaries and people are looking at investing and people are still consuming for various reasons. Give us an update first and foremost so people don't understand your charge, your mission, and how it's going,
Thank
educating
you.
Floridians.
MMERI stands for Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative. It's a state mandated program funded by the legislature. It's our charge. Our job is to educate Floridians about medical and unlawful use of marijuana. And it is quite important. Education is knowledge is power, as we say. The more people, if we have an educated citizenry, the better informed decisions those citizens can make. And so the legislature deemed it necessary that Floridians be educated about this substance. Remember, we've come a long way. We've been fighting and talking about marijuana is evil, marijuana is that, marijuana. We've even put people in prison. Still, people that are still in our prisons because of marijuana. And now we're telling people, that there's a medical side of it, and it's legal. And so you need to educate people and talk to people and explain it to them and help them understand how to go about it so they can do it right. And so the legislature charged us with educating Floridians. Now the other side is the unlawful side of it. Medical marijuana is the marijuana that is recommended by a physician, a qualified physician to a patient. You know, now what people get on the streets, it's or from a non-regulated facility, it's what we know street weed. But in order to get medical marijuana, you have to go to an MMTC, Medical Marijuana Treatment Center. We've got lots of them across Florida. And so we encourage Floridians, if you feel like you need to use marijuana for one ailment or another, we encourage you to talk to your physician and work with your physician, a qualified physician, to get it legally, and not self medicate through other sources.
Processing what you're saying sounds simple enough, and it sounds safe enough to simply call your physician or a physician. That just sounds simple enough.
Well, you're right. It should be that simple. Now, for a lot of people that you don't have access to a physician, you don't have a primary care physician. A lot of these doctors that are qualified, or that are certified by the state of Florida Department of Health, they're typical physicians that, some of whom it could be a primary care physician, but not always. But if it's something you really need, you can walk into, a health department, you know and say, hey, is there something you can help me with? Or almost everybody's got a cell phone. We have access to an internet. Or you could go to the public library, just Google, qualified physician for medical marijuana, or go to the OMMU website, Office of Medical Marijuana Use, or visit the MMERI website, and we'll redirect you on how to find a qualified physician in your area.
You know
Now,
what you just did? You just eliminated categorically any excuse not to know if you're watching this show. You just check that one, and all of them are doable.
that is true. It's critical to be safe. None of us want to be able to consume something and have that be our last, the last thing we consume. That's been one of the problems with the opioid epidemic. You know, a lot of the substances that people utilize are laced with other things. And so, in order to keep increasing the high, sometimes marijuana could be laced with fentanyl, which we know is deadly. It could
Hmm.
be laced with other substances, horse tranquilizers.
Did you say a
Yes,
horse? A
yes,
horse,
horse
like
tranquilizers.
sugar.
Yes, yes. It's less. Yeah,
Tranquilizers. Oh
it's
my
interesting.
God.
There are lots of things
Whew.
out there, that
That's
that are
scary.
being used, and so it's important that folks are educated so they make informed decisions. You can't just accept what someone offers you, or just buy anything on the street. Safety is key. I want to believe with all my heart that someone using a substance wants to keep using it, and is using it for a reason. And so it's important to understand that reason
Right.
and go the legal route for you and your physician to help you work it out. It could
And
be
that's the talk
anxiety.
part, right? That's the talk.
Yes,
We're
yes.
doing the education now.
The education. You need to. And it's not just the individual themselves. If you notice a family member and they're using substances, it's hard. It's one of the most expensive illnesses to treat.
Mm.
People that are addicted. Families put their homes, take out second, third mortgages just to help a family member go through addiction, or get them treatment. And the ones that can't, what do? They end up on the streets.
Yeah.
So don't even start. Do
Yeah.
not even start. Don't assume that you can handle it. Oh, they couldn't handle it because they were not strong enough. No, you're not. Do not even try. Go the legal route, work with your physician, your healthcare provider, and do it legally. It saves you a lot of trouble.
I
Apart from
appreciate
you
that.
being healthy and safe,
Yeah.
it helps you stay alive for the ones you love and the ones you
Bingo.
care about.
That matters. Guys, as you can tell, and this is why GP really knocks it out of the park every time, because these are practical, responsible, mature, uh, thoughtful solutions. We're not just like talking and saying you should do this and that and the other. He's actually giving you a playbook on where to call, who to call, where to look up the websites, and if it's not you, your friends and family and loved ones. So please remember that this is something that you could record, play over and over again, or hit us up to really get the information you need, because you could really be helping someone's life and someone's lifestyle. You can't have a good lifestyle if the life is struggling, and health is wealth. Talk to those Gen Zs, those young folks, those folks who are in the culture, that grew up around the culture of cannabis. It's no big deal for them. It's around all the time. I'd say, 16 to 30 and up, whatever, but they're young. Talk to the young people who need to hear this message and what they should be thinking about.
Thank you for that. Um, there are a couple of things that a lot of people don't know about, and why would they? It's not something that's common knowledge. There's been a lot of research that's been done regarding the impact of marijuana, you know, on young people. And I have not seen one study, and I've done a lot of reading, talked to a lot of professionals at conferences, you know, whether it's National Institute of Drug Abuse, Harvard, and the rest of them, and NIH. There's not a single study that shows anything positive that cannabis does, either to the fetus or to the brain of a young person up until the age of 25, under 25 or up to 25. It has a negative impact on the brain. Now, one of the studies even went as far as saying that for young people or anyone thinking about getting, being able to have a child, for a guy, it stays, it impacts your sperm, the sperm of the guy, thus impacting the cognitive and intellectual abilities of that child that's going to be born as a result of that. So if a guy wants to have a child with a woman, both of them need to stay away from cannabis, not just for their sakes, but for the sake of that child. It passes through in a very negative way. So you're about to bring a child into the world that you say you love dearly, but you're already setting up that child to fail. Intellectually, it's going to impact them. Lower IQ, health wise, it's going to impact them. So you're setting them up to fail. A lot of problems. And so when that child comes into the world, they already got problems that due to no fault of theirs, but due because of parents that profess to love them. So it's not just about the individual consuming. It matters the people around you. And so if you have to use cannabis, work with your physician. There's got to be a reason that you're using it. And so the benefits have to outweigh, you know, the other side. And so the benefits have to be more. Um, it has to be beneficial more than it hurts. And think about it as young people. You don't have to use the substance. There are ways you could educate yourself and advance your career and make money off of this. Medical marijuana is legal in Florida. People are making money off of it. You can learn how to do that. You don't have to be on the street selling it. You could make money off of it and contribute to society legally. You just have to learn to play that game. So if you're interested in that, we've got content on our website that you could go look at too and hear what other you know, business owners are saying and what professionals and entrepreneurs are saying about how to, you know, get into it. So there are positive things about cannabis, and we want you to explore that as opposed to consuming it to your own detriment.
That's dope. Look here, man. He just broke y'all off to a whole nother level. He didn't go from first, second, and third gear and left it there. He's just forget fourth gear, forget fifth gear. GP just went straight to sixth gear on you. He's talking about an entrepreneurial opportunity that will be exploding. This is a business of the future. So he's talking about not just being the consumer, but the creator. He's talking about your health, your family, yourself, and also looking at the dynamics of where we are today and how things are changing. Because for those of us who have seen as a kid in the 70s, 80s, or whatever, and we saw the breakout of cannabis and marijuana, and it was a cool thing. But you said something that we have to think about that's really key. That was a whole different ball game. It was a different strain. It was a different time. Now we've got all kinds of chemicals and things like that we have to think about, just like when we talk about what we eat and what goes into our body and where was it raised and all those things. I think the health piece of it is mission critical. So thank you for being as inclusive of the data and really just hitting hard with what matters. It's really hard to argue any of these points, but we do have to continue to bring the message home. Any closing thoughts, my brother?
Oh, well, just thank you for having me. And please visit our website, follow us on social media, and there's a lot happening. And there's a lot that's coming on the horizon. And we want to make sure you're educated and you stay informed. So we appreciate you having us and listening to what we have to say. We appreciate you. Thank you.
We appreciate you. We're proud of our state of Florida, great state, the leadership that we have that has also enabled this to happen with FAMU to help our citizens. And just so proud of you and the hard work you guys do. We see you all over the state getting that message across where there are, 2, 3 more gathered in the right places too. So we are committed. And we're going to do this a lot more often, GP. So stay tuned, you guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to pick up where we left off with GP so you can have an ongoing session here and you can use it. On that note, we're out, guys. Subscribe if you can. Be sure to leave a message. I'm getting it. I'm hearing you. GP, way to go. Don't let the baby face fool you. This guy's been around a minute. All right? Don't let it fool you. See, I got the gray and all that. That guy.
Tony,
that's it. GP,
thank you, my brother.
thank you again, man. It was a lot of fun, and it was heavyweight, man. It was heavyweight information. I appreciate it. All right, guys. See you next time, and be good.
All right.